Is ops comparable between baseball's dead ball and modern eras? Imagine stepping into a baseball game from the early 1900s and then watching a game today. The style, equipment, and rules have changed a lot. But what about the numbers? Can we really compare a player's batting stats from those different times? Today, we're looking at ops, which stands for on base plus slugging, and seeing if it works as a fair comparison across these eras. First, let's break down what ops actually measures. It adds together on base percentage, which shows how often a player reaches base, and slugging percentage, which measures how many bases a player gains per at-bat. When you add these two together, you get a single number that shows how good a hitter is at both getting on base and hitting for power. Now, the dead ball era, roughly from 1900 to 1919, was a time when the ball was softer and less lively. Home runs were rare, and players relied more on speed, bunts, and small ball tactics. Because of the equipment and rules, players generally had lower OBP and SLG, which kept their ops numbers lower. For example, league ops during this time was often below .700. In 1908, the National League's ops was around .629, which is quite low compared to today. Contrast, the modern era, especially after 1920, saw the ball become livelier. Smaller ballparks, different rules, and a focus on power hitting led to more home runs and extra base hits. League ops today usually hovers around .750, and top players often reach or surpass an ops of 1.0. For example, players like Barry Bonds and Mike Trout regularly post ops figures above 1.0. That's a huge jump from the dead ball days. When comparing individual players, the differences are clear. Ty Cobb, one of the best hitters of the dead ball era, had a career ops of about .946. That was incredible for his time but would be considered just good today. Modern stars like Mike Trout often have ops numbers over 1.0, which shows how much the game has changed. Because of these differences, raw ops numbers don't tell the full story. Sabermetricians use adjusted stats like Ops Plus to compare players across eras. Ops Plus adjusts for league averages and ballpark factors, giving a better picture of how a player performed relative to his peers. This way, a player from the dead ball era can be fairly compared to a modern player. So, is ops comparable between these eras? Not exactly on its own. The raw numbers are heavily influenced by the game conditions of each time. But with adjustments like Ops Plus, we can see past the raw data and understand how players truly performed relative to their competition. This makes it a useful tool, but only when used with context. Comparing players across different baseball eras requires understanding the environment they played in, and adjusted stats help make those comparisons fairer.